Are you in that super frustrating place where you're taking action, you want to lose weight, you're trying your hardest, and nothing's working? If so, please keep watching because in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 biggest mistakes that I see women making that is just absolutely stopping them from seeing any results. And after this video, you might just have a few new tips that are going to help you reset and get those scales moving again. Hi, I'm Cheryl. I'm a qualified nutritionist. I've been coaching for 15 years and weight loss is my absolute specialty. I love helping women get those scales moving again. And when people come to see me, there are some really common threads of things they are doing that just doesn't work. That's what I'm going to share with you in this video. Now, the first one is eating fruit because they think that it's a better choice. And people will say to me, well, a piece of fruit's got to be better than a piece of cake. And I know on paper that makes sense. But if you are somebody who loses weight really slowly or you gain weight fast, a piece of fruit is not a good choice. Mind you, neither is a piece of cake. But if you're eating fruit thinking that it's a better option, it is not going to be helping you. One apple can have up to 20 grams of sugar. A banana can have 30. Now, while this might be okay if you're doing a heck of a lot of exercise or you're just someone who has a faster metabolism, all of that energy that you're eating in fruit means that your body is going to have energy to run on, which means it's not going to be tapping into stored fat. This is not a calorie thing, it's an energy thing. It's where those calories are coming from. So if you're struggling to see results and you're eating a lot of fruit, cut that right out. Swap it for some extra protein or some other fat options, some olives, some nuts, and I bet you're going to start to see a difference. Number 2, are you eating too many protein bars as snacks or maybe a meal substitute? This is something that I see some of my clients doing. It's not necessarily the worst thing, but unfortunately, some proteins can spike your insulin and make your blood sugars rise. And this is not going to be helping you when your mission is to lose weight. The only way you might know this for sure is by doing a constant glucose monitor so you can actually test your blood sugars. But I've definitely had clients who are eating protein bars, and when they stop them, they get much better results. There's nothing better than eating real food, eating real protein. Your body knows what to do with that. You're going to burn a lot more calories in the processing of real food than you are in a simple protein bar. Probably okay to have occasionally, but don't eat them too often. Number 3, the flat white or other milky drinks. Unfortunately, milk has quite a lot of energy. 1 cup of milk can have 14 grams of sugar in the form of lactose. So if you're having 1 or 2 milky coffees per day, this alone could be the thing that is stopping you from getting good results. There are much better alternatives like soy milk's got about half the amount of carbs of milk, coconut milk. The best one is probably almond milk. That's only got about 4 grams of carb in a cup. So swap to one of those options, and that's going to make your milky coffees a much better option. Of course, coffee with cream is another good choice too because cream has no carbs. So I've had a few clients who were not seeing results, and when they changed their coffee, everything started moving again. We don't often think of milk as sugar, but unfortunately it is, and all of those calories count. Number 4, using exercise as your primary fat burning tool. Look, exercise is great. It's great for your body. It's great for your brain. It is great for your metabolism. But if your goal is fat loss and you're not dealing with your nutrition, you are not going to get the best result possible thinking that exercise is the main thing you need to focus on. Exercise is going to be great for a lot of these other goals, but when fat burning is your goal, you need to have your nutrition dialed in, making sure you've got that food plan going really well. And sometimes when we exercise, we get hungry. So we're eating more. It can also increase cortisol, especially if you're doing a lot of really intense exercise. And if your cortisol goes up, that turns fat burning off, which is not ideal. So when weight loss is your goal, make nutrition your first action. I know I'm probably biased because I'm a nutritionist, but there's a reason for that because this is what I see every day. When women focus on their nutrition, really dial in that meal plan and do it accurately, it works. And quite often when I see people adding in exercise, it can slow down results. Okay. So do the exercise, but only when you've got your nutrition really nailed. And the last action I want to tell you about today is eating the same thing every day. Us humans, we are such creatures of habit, and it's easy to get into a pattern, isn't it? Of kind of eating similar things at a similar time of day, and your body just catches up to you. It just adapts and it turns fat burning off, which is so frustrating, especially if it's been working for a while. So, if this sounds like you, maybe have a look back at what you've been eating. Think about your food over the last few weeks. Are you kind of stuck in that pattern of doing the same thing all the time? If so, it's time to change it. Now, in low carb, what you can do is maybe do a couple of days of keto where you drop your carbs lower. You can do some lower calorie days. There are lots of ways that you can shake it up. In my membership, every month I give a new fat loss protocol with a different type of strategy so that women who are on this journey can really keep adding in new things because this is what works. You've got to keep shaking it up, especially if your scales are plateaued. So if you feel like you've got everything dialed in and you're doing everything right, think to your patterns. If you're doing the same meals at the same kind of time of day, it's time to start doing it differently. And hopefully that is going to help give you a different result. I hope that's helped. Look, these are just 5 things, and I'm sure you're doing lots of things right. But if one of these has really landed for you, just pick one, start taking action, and I know you're going to get those scales moving again.